I would say that it was more like Liverpool blew the game, I feel.
Yes. Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of the Football Kaki. I am your host Aldet. I am back. Yes, I was out last week, but I am joined by my fellow Kaki bro, or the original Kaki bro who helped me host last week, my brother Midet. Bro, how are you doing?
Doing well, doing okay. Not the best outcome for the football, but it's not the worst outcome. So I think I'm okay, generally okay.
I am satisfied with the result, but I also have a lot of things I need to say. Like, I am not very happy with the way Man United are playing now. And one thing I think Jamie Redknapp said is Man U are playing like a small club, which I agree lah. So I will get into that later lah. But how's your weekend?
To be honest, it was okay. I think it was a very weird week for sports, like in general. I think there's a lot of weird results over the course of the week, especially if you look like now. Like, do you see that Ajax got trashed 6-0 by Feyenoord?
Actually, that one I'm not surprised with because Ajax is horrible this year though.
Yeah. I was just reacting to all the news like yesterday. I was like, wow, Earth is going like Bayern lost again, like 3-2. Yeah. And Dortmund also lost to Stuttgart. And I was just thinking like this is a weird week for sports. But I think this week, a lot of sports to look forward to because like now the NBA season is coming towards the end. And also because this Sunday is UFC 300. So yeah, a lot of big sporting events coming up. So exciting.
And like in baseball's also back. Also the Yankees are actually 8-2. They sweep the Astros like in the opening series. They won 4 games. I
did see that. Actually I've been following baseball a bit more because of the Ohtani stuff. Like just to watch the Dodgers like play lah. Yeah.
It's funny because like Ohtani, he signed a $700+ million contract over like I think I can't remember how many years. I think 10 years, right? Then one Soto, right, is he went from the Padres to New York, right? Then he's like on fire recently. So it suddenly, because of that, right, it just changed the whole like dynamic of the New York Yankees, right? And like the fact that they beat the Astros, which they've always had a problem beating, like they swept them. I was like, oh, this is quite impressive lah. But we shall see in the weird world of sports, right? But speaking of aside of weird world of sports, right? Have you watched Physical 100 finish yet? The season 2.
I did. I watched it last week. The moment the episode came out, I watched the whole thing. Like the last few episodes.
Okay, I also did the same thing, right? But I just want to tell everybody, right? There's going to be spoilers here, right? The finale, I still think, right, in terms of comparison to season 1, right, the finale this year is a lot worse.
Worse? Oh, okay.
It's a lot worse in terms of like the physical exertion that they have to do. Because if you remember, like last year, the season 1, right, the top 3 they were doing the triangle thing.
Yeah, the shutter run.
The shutter run, right? And then the last one was they were doing the rope pulling, ma.
Yeah, the rope pulling was excruciating. Plus, they had to reset the shoot a few times because of technical errors. That's why there was a controversy about the winner, ma, because they said that actually it was not a fair outcome for the thing. But the rope pulling is a grueling thing because there's a lot of grip strength and stuff like that,
But because I think what they did this year was they were smart. They changed the rope pulling away, right? Because it ends up being like there's no room for mechanical error.
Yeah, correct. It was a mano finale lah.
Mano finale, but bro, the squats were brutal.
Okay, yeah. The most brutal out of all of the thing was the squats. Especially if you go to the gym, right? Like in general, I hate training squats. Like I really hate it lah. So when I see like the amount of reps that they have to do, considering because the weight that they're doing, right, it's tough. But it's like, if you do a few, is okay. But the fact they had to do like, 40 reps and stuff, and I was like, wow.
It's insane. It was like, then I remember all the contestants, right? They were all in the back room.
Yeah.
They were watching, right? Then everybody was anticipating, oh, you're doing 100, and they started at 100 kilos, 100 kilos of coal, right? With the whole structure, right? So I don't know whether they mentioned whether the structure was 100 kilo, including the 100 kilos was including the structure, or it wasn't.
To be honest, I'm not sure lah. I think the structure is like maybe like a different weight lah, but I think they just measured purely is the
coal only, right?
Coal, yeah, correct.
I remember it was 30 reps, 40.
Yeah.
And then it was another 30, right? 30 plus or 35.
Yeah.
And it was 100 and 150. Was it 150?
Yeah.
Or was it 125?
Around there lah. Well, 125, 150 lah. I can't remember the exact number.
I think they maxed out about 200 kilos, right?
I can't remember. Yeah, I think so. I think it's 100, 150, 200. Yeah.
Can you imagine doing squats at 200 kilos and doing like 40 and doing like almost 30 reps? Or even 150 reps at 30 reps? after doing like already 70 reps prior.
Yeah, the two Korean finalists they are really damn freaking strong. Like their endurance levels is damn. But from the start, right, the moment I saw that who's that the first guy who won the thing his name
Amoti,
Amoti, right? I was like, oh, what does he do? I was like, CrossFit. I was like, oh yeah, this guy easily is gonna win. CrossFit, right, is always the most like balanced for some reason because they have to be good at endurance, have to be good at like strength, have to be good at like weightlifting and everything like that lah. So it was really not surprising, especially if you look at the finale, right, the last one. Yeah. Once he figured out the technique to win the firefighter, right, I was like, oh yeah lah, he's the clear advantage because he managed to pull the bar up. So it's like, as long as he can make sure the fact that I can push it down, right, so that the firefighter cannot use his shoulder to press, right, then he got the advantage already.
Which was smart because he lost the first one because he couldn't get leverage because his leg kept going up.
Yeah, correct.
Then after that, he was just biding his time. So he was very patient. I was like, wow, this one was like pure battle of wits. Yeah, see who crumbles first. But he won. Amoti won. Like I said, spoiler alert, right? Yeah. But the funny part is that everybody got eliminated.
Yeah.
All 100 of them.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, but that's the whole point, is like you have to find the perfect, like the one, But it's the fact that he actually doesn't deserve to win the thing because of the fact he was eliminated once. You know what I mean?
Correct.
Like, yeah. I mean, it's like the rules of the game. But yeah, it's like a bit unfair that he won. To be honest, right, the most impressive person out of the whole physical 100, right, is that small wrestlers,
correct.
It's like the whole time I was watching, I was like, I can't believe this guy is like that small and that strong.
Strong.
I was like, wow, like wrestling is no jokes,
No, it's crazy. I remember they were doing the intra team one, right? Then they will have to carry the roller, right? He kept up with all of them until the end.
Yeah, and he's like easily like what, only 60 to like 60 kg or something like that. Yes.
So he's like lifting almost like double his body weight.
No doubt, right? If he was like just 5 to 10 years younger, right, he will easily win the physical 100.
I agree. But it's because he's already old and seasoned already lah.
Yeah, correct.
But it was fun. I finished up the whole thing at the end of the day. I was like, oh, I don't think I can do 100. I don't think I can do 100 squats.
Yeah, must watch. I think physical, for all of the issues, like okay, like maybe you don't feel the finale is as good as the first season, right? It's still very well done, and the way that they film a lot of the sort of like nail biting scenes, they are quite good now. So yeah, the setup was also better.
But overall, I do think that if you really just look it out at season 1 and season 2, right, I do think the season 1 cast was better than season 2.
Yeah, because season 1 they had more celebrities and
correct.
Yeah, and season 2 it was more like they focus on athletes and then maybe like they have one actor and then a few celebrities and stuff like that.
Correct.
Yeah.
But if I'm not mistaken, they did put a hint at the end of the episode. They put that it's going to be physical 100 Asia.
Yeah. That'll be fun.
That'll be quite interesting. So, all right. So aside from physical 100, me and Midet had a match yesterday that we were watching into, which was Man Utd versus Liverpool, which was the big game of the week, right? But I don't know why EPL decided to play games on Friday also.
Yeah, I don't get that also, but
I don't understand. So they decided to play games on a Thursday night, which is Friday morning Singapore time, and then after that they had another round of games on Saturday and Sunday. Literally, you had pretty much at most a 24 to 48 hour period of rest.
Yeah,
which is absolutely insane. But before we get into today's episode, which we're going to talk about, basically the title race, the 3 teams, is getting close. It's getting heated up really. The top 3 are only separated by 1 point. 1 point.
Yeah.
But we have to talk about our 2 match of the weeks that we did speak about, which is basically Manchester United and Chelsea and Man Utd Liverpool. So today, what we're going to do is that we're going to go through the 2 United games. Then, of course, we're going to go through Arsenal's game. Then, of course, Man City. And then, of course, we're going to talk about our match of the week, which, of course, is Arsenal versus Aston Villa. Aston Villa can actually spoil the party.
Yeah.
So, you ready to get into it, bro?
Let's get into it.
All right. So now, the first game that we're going to talk about before the Man Utd Liverpool game is, of course, the game that happened at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea versus Man Utd. Final score, Chelsea 4, Manchester United 3.
Mm-hmm.
I'm speechless. I don't know how it ended up 4-3. But let's just do a quick summary. Basically, what happened is that Chelsea go 2 up within 17 minutes. Conor Gallagher scores the first goal, which Onana should have saved.
Yeah,
honestly,
he should have saved that.
He does this too much. I got another grab that happened in the Liverpool game, which we'll talk about later. Then, of course, Anthony gives up a penalty on a tackle for Cucurella. which Palmer converts. So essentially, Chelsea go up 2-0 within the first 17 minutes. Garnacho gets one back in about the 34th minute.
Mm-hmm.
And then after a Caicedo mistake, which was, brother, I don't know what's wrong with Caicedo now, right? But he's just not.
Yeah.
He's
proving he's not worth that amount of money. He's
Yes.
still young, so there's a lot of potential for him to still grow, but he's definitely not worth that amount of money now. Like, not the 100 million. Should not be the most expensive midfielder in EPL history.
Correct. 100%. I do agree. With that, he makes a mistake. Garnacho seizes the opportunity. Bruno scores about 4 minutes later with a header. It's 2-2. Conor Gallagher hits the post before halftime. And then in about the 66th minute,
yeah, I think 67.
Anthony does one of probably his best cross in a Man United jersey.
Yeah.
His best play in a Man United jersey for Garnacho, who basically taps in. So for about the 66th minute all the way to the end, it was pretty much looking like it was going to be United's game until another penalty was given from Diogo Dalot. I don't know about this one.
Very dumb penalty to give away. It was a very, very dumb, stupid challenge, I feel. Yeah.
Okay, that one we'll get into it later because I got questions about those.
Yeah.
So Palmer converts the penalty, is 3-3. Corner kick, Palmer shoots. McTominay gets in the way, deflected. 101st minute, 4-3. United were leading 3-2 in the 96th minute. Alejandro Garnacho was named man of the match.
Yeah.
And then Cole Palmer got man of the match.
Yeah, it was rescinded for Cole Palmer.
That's the first time I've ever seen that though. So at the end of the day, right, United give up a 2-goal lead in stoppage time in the space of 5 minutes. Question. Were the penalties?
I think they're quite 50-50. I think that the Dalot one was like a dumb thing to do, I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially given the fact that it's like towards the end of the game already. I mean, like, why? Like, why do you do that? Yes, yeah. And then this Cole Palmer, right? He's proving that he's really very good at penalties because I think he's converted all of his penalties this season. Like, so, I think that the penalties they are somewhat okay. I a bit dodgy. Do you think so? Do you think like, especially the first one, was it a penalty?
Okay, the first one, right? For me, I feel that the first one was more of 50-50 because the thing was there was contact.
Yeah, there was contact.
There was contact, but it was more like knee to knee. So like they just so happened to collide to one another, and then Cucurella goes down. I would say that it's soft because I've seen penalties given for much worse. But at the end of the day, right, like when it happened now. They do VAR, they check all the penalties. VAR gave the penalty lah. I got nothing much to say lah. Onana's not good at saving penalties because he's always dove on the wrong side.
He's given up, or he's not saved a single penalty this season. Like so far lah. Yeah.
One. The Champions League one.
Yeah. One? The Champions League one.
Yeah.
Okay. EPL he has not saved a single penalty.
EPL he gave up everything. EPL he has not saved a single penalty, but he saved one in the Champions League. So because of that, when United give it a penalty, I'm not very confident. The Dalot one, right? I don't know. That one I really don't know. Because I look at it more like Dalot falls down. He kind of like indirectly touches Madueke, and then Madueke just goes down.
Yeah.
It's soft lah.
It's soft, but if you look at it in game speed, right, it does look like it's a foul. So I can't blame the ref for like giving it as a pen. But this kind of thing is, of course, when you slow it down and then you actually look at it, you might feel like, okay, like, it's a bit like iffy sort of challenge. For me, it's more like, why do you like? Do you know what I mean? Like, why do you try? Why do you just like block or like, but this kind of thing you don't know lah. Do you feel that the game itself was how to say if like Man U had won 3-2, do you feel that it was a fair outcome that Man U deserved to win?
I would say yes and no, because I feel that at the end of the day, right, Chelsea is not great. United's not great either.
Yeah,
it's basically, it feels like instead of what you used to have when it was the Ferguson versus Mourinho, or Ferguson versus the older man, the older Chelsea teams, right? Versus now, it feels like it's two mid-table teams fighting it out.
Yeah, I agree.
It doesn't feel like there is opportunity. It's just that both are just bad at defending.
Yeah, I'm going to say, right, I think that it's not, I talked about it last week, right? It's not being talked about enough that this Pochettino is doing a horrible job at Chelsea. Yeah. Like, this Ten Hag is getting a lot of flame, right? But this Pochettino is just equally as bad, this season.
He's horrible. It's not good.
Yeah.
It's really just bad.
Yeah, and considering the fact, right, that like, if not for Cole Palmer, this Chelsea, they'll easily be fighting in the relegation zones. Yeah. I
agree. I
Yeah,
agree.
it's really very horrible. Yeah, all of the signings they've done, it's just a combination of like the coach is not good. The like signing decisions that they've made so far have not panned out.
Yeah.
They also drew the game over the weekend, right, against Sheffield.
Yeah,
2-2.
they drew 2-2. They drew 2-2, right? But I think for me, at the end of the day, right, like as much as Pochettino is doing bad, right, I do feel that Ten Hag's way of management is worse. I've always said this before, like Pochettino is given a bad situation because basically he's asked to put together a team with a group of players that were literally thrown together in the hope that I'm giving you this, right, you go and fix it. But it's not like how it was at Spurs where everything was pieced together the way that he wanted to. Whereas at Chelsea, he's just like thrown everything. Like, nah, you go and do this. Because the team was just, Boli just made the decisions, ma. Everybody just like that. But at United, the problem is that there is nothing that Ten Hag can actually do to protect himself because of the fact that it's not acceptable to lose 12 games in a season. That's one.
Plus, most of the signings recently have been his signings.
Correct.
The players that he wanted.
Correct. And then the ones that you actually have do well, right, are academy players, which is like Garnacho and Mainoo, and recently, like yesterday was Kombala lah.
Yeah.
Haaland has done well, but Haaland's got zero service. The team is not disciplined. They are reckless, and they just don't have that ability to not panic.
Yeah.
Like you can see the moment something goes wrong, it just goes to disarray.
Yeah. But I think the good thing about, and we'll touch on this later also as well, is that I think it's been ingrained in them, right, that they know how to counter attack since the Ole like management time. So it's like when a team attacks them, right, they always tend to score more goals lah, as opposed to like a team that sets them a low block. So I was not surprised that they managed to come back like and then score 3 goals lah. So yeah, we'll talk about the Liverpool game in a bit lah. But that's the good thing about Mainoo, they're set up to.
But the other thing is that another 20 shot game given up.
Yeah, 20. Bro, I was looking at the stats. It was 28 shots.
It's ridiculous, like, since when has a Man United squad, right? It's not even under Ole, given up 20 shots for the past 7-8 games.
Yeah. It's just, they're very
ridiculous.
Right? They're very hang that Liverpool blew so many chances, and also that Chelsea, that they only converted 4. They had 2 which were penalties.
Correct. And as much as people give Onana flack, he's the reason why they're not in a worse state. Because 28 shots given up is not acceptable by any imagination whatsoever, especially if you're Man United.
Yeah.
And the way Ten Hag manages, right, it feels like he's just doing damage control rather than trying to win. To me, which is absolutely nonsense. Because why do you take out certain players and then put in certain players, right, when you should be going for the kill, which is what we will talk about in our next game, which is, of course, the big game of the week, which is, of course, Manchester United versus Liverpool. The final score was 2-2. I can only sum up this game in 2 words: wasted chances.
Yeah, I would say that it was more like Liverpool blew the game, I feel.
Yes.
Maybe you can go through like the sequence of events of things that happened throughout the game lah. But
start of the game, basically it was quite straightforward. Garnacho gets a goal ruled for offside, which if he held his run a bit longer, is confirm a goal. He scores. That's what is 1-0, and then that could have been the winning goal because the final score was indeed 2-2 lah. But it is just hearsay. We will never actually know. So what happened is that after that, Szoboszlai had a great one-on-one save, brilliant save by Onana. I think was that before the Garnacho one or after the Garnacho one?
After
the Garnacho one, right? And then there was a corner. Nunes hits it. Diaz taps in. Then it's a goal lah.
Yeah.
Onana should have saved that. I still stand by that. He got a hand to it. He should have saved it. There were 2 men on the line, and how did the ball go right through Onana's hand?
Yeah. Iffy goalkeeping.
Yeah. Then of course that happens. Then Kwanzaa makes probably the dumbest thing and a dumb mistake to let Bruno Fernandes shoot and chip Kelleher from about 40 yards out.
Yeah. It was a very, very bad mistake.
Very bad mistake. After that, it was all Liverpool. Nunes wasted a chance. Salah wasted a chance. Szoboszlai wasted chances. Everything was just messy. And then in the 66th minute, Starboy. People call Garnacho Starboy. I don't call Garnacho Starboy. I call Kobe Mainoo Starboy. Kobe Mainoo.
A ridiculous goal. Like
in a close, compact area, takes the ball, controls it, turns and finesses the ball right into the far corner. There is no way Kelleher saves that.
Yeah, no way.
Absolutely no way. Yeah. I don't know, maybe Alisson might, but there's no way Kelleher saves that. Absolutely zero. It's like perfect placement, top corner, everything. So from there, it was still Liverpool. Liverpool started attacking, but a lot of the momentum kept going to United side lah. So once that started going, it was moving, and then my manager decides to take off Garnacho. and he decides to take off Kobe Mainoo. And then everything goes to crap. Aaron Wan-Bissaka gives up a penalty. Another penalty given up in stoppage time at the end of the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Salah converts. Game finishes 2-2.
Diaz could have scored at the end also.
Yes.
There was a ball. If he just didn't tap it so hard, right, it could have easily flown into the net. But he screwed up that last one and left it flew over the bar.
I think there was one chance where like it was the one where Nunes pushed it, tried to push across, right? So Bosley was wide open in the middle. If he just passed to Bosley, it's a goal.
Yeah, composure lah. We have an issue with this Diaz and Darwin, right? Is composure. They really lack some sort of like, how to say, especially when we counter attack, right? There's a lot of times it's like, oh my god, like can you just like control yourself or like stabilize your think of first, yeah.
Which is sad because like if you were to compare it to like the original front three, which was of Klopp, basically Salah, Firmino, and Mane, right? If it was Salah, Firmino, Mane, right, that's confirmed one goal. It's confirmed one goal will come out. On. There's no way. Yeah. There's no way like they won't misjudge something like that this badly.
Not only just Firmino and Mane, right? It really shows that we miss Jota because Jota is very like different from Darwin and Diaz. He's very clinical, where it's like he doesn't have the speed and he doesn't have the power or this, but he has the like skill and the IQ lah to know like, okay, this is where I'm gonna finish, or this I'm gonna drag back here or pass here and stuff like that lah. Yeah, we needed that this game lah. I can feel it. Yeah, composure.
I'm surprised that Liverpool didn't score like 5 goals. Like, honestly, right, to me, right, this should have been like Liverpool 5, Man United 2.
Yeah, I to be honest, right, it should have been like 4-1. Like we really shouldn't have given up the goal, the Konsa goal as well. Yeah. Like it's one of the most inexperienced, naive, lackluster, anyhow pass that type of thing moves lah, which is like the naivety of youth. It's like you just think like, oh, it's okay, I'm just gonna like do this pass because I've made it all the time before, but he didn't read the situation properly, and then after that, yeah, like he blew that. I think that overall this game, I think the result is fair to be 2-2 because I can only say that even though we had so many shots and that we were given this, it's the same outcome for the FA Cup. It's like the FA Cup we dominated most of the game, and then but we didn't convert chances, and then Man United countered us, and then after that they scored. So for me, right, it's like non-excusable that we didn't win the game lah. It's like the draw, the fact that we got a lucky sort of like penalty at the end, right, is really like painting over the cracks of the scoring because to be honest, right, the finishing was bad. Like we had a 3.67 XG, we had 28 shots, and then we only scored 2 goals. One is a pen, and then the other one is like a set piece, like bounce here, bounce there. The amount of open play goals that we should have scored, right? Oh, I tell you.
I remember there's one Salah missed one. Supposedly shot over, right? I honestly think, right, if it wasn't for Onana, right, the Supposedly's first shot should have been a goal. That's 100% a goal.
Yeah, it would have been a goal. So yeah.
Then Nunes also, I think he missed one where he could have just passed it across goal, but in the end, somehow the ball just goes wide. Mm-hmm. Everything just felt like it wasn't like, you know, there are certain games where you see like there's a force field around the goal, but the ball just cannot go in, right? This one is not that. This one is just that the goal is just super wide, just everybody just shooting far away.
Yeah, it's just our finishing was not good enough. It's the main thing. Yeah, our players did not do a good job finishing the chances, and then you just kept screaming like, oh, just be clinical, and then you can sense also, right, like during the first half, Klopp, he was like irritated at every single chance that we miss because he knows that it's like at Old Trafford, the moment that they have an opportunity, they score, right, it's like the momentum will just swing, and that's what happened after Bruno scored that goal, right, the momentum completely like shifted to Man United side. Yeah, so yeah, momentum in football is a funny thing.
Yeah, it's frustrating to me though, right? Because for me, I do think that in terms of all this, right, Erik ten Hag committed a crime to me as a Man United manager is that you decide to contain against Liverpool, right? Whereas as a Man United manager, right, you should kill the game. Yeah, no matter what.
He made the decision to contain quite early, like I think the 79th.
Too early already.
Yeah.
It was like 10 minutes left, right? And considering the fact that everybody knows that there's stoppage time usually now about 5, 6, 7 minutes, right?
Yeah.
He contained way too early. And the moment he took out Garnacho, right, he lost pace.
Yeah. Because Anthony is not fast. That's about it. Yeah.
He took out Anthony, right? There's one thing, right? But he took out Anthony, he took out Rashford first. So he already lost pace already. But Rashford is another thing. I don't want to talk about him.
Yeah, that's not
every time I talk about him, he makes me see it. Then after that, Anthony gone, right? But you still had Garnacho. Garnacho was fine on the field. He took out Garnacho and Mainoo.
Yeah.
Your two best players.
For Amrabat. Like what?
For Amrabat and I think it was Mount.
Yeah, this Amrabat was awful, so he kept giving the ball away also.
You took on for Amrabat and Mount, right? Then after that, you leave basically no pace at the front and you put Bruno on the left. I'm like, kill the game. To me, like Jimmy Redknapp, he said it lah. He said that Man United are playing like a small club. And I feel that Erik ten Hag his mentality is a small club mentality. I'm trying to do damage control, which is not what I want.
Yeah, it does also feel like the fan base for United, they're happy with a draw. Like they're happy with the outcome that it was a draw. Whereas I feel that you shouldn't be like celebrating a draw. Like Liverpool, right? It's like we are so irritated that we got a draw.
Yep.
Yeah, because we should have won the game. But then it's like for United, it's like, oh, we're very happy to get a 2-2. Like, well,
Because-
it's like a point. Like, yeah, we could have, yeah.
It's because we've lost faith in the players already.
Yeah.
A lot of us. Everybody knows they are not good enough. Right? And it's not talking about like 1 or 2. You're talking about even the captain and the star player, right? 10 and 8. I feel like they're not good enough for Man United. Bruno Fernandes is way too ill-disciplined.
Yeah.
He cannot be the player inside Man United under Ten Hag because Ten Hag needs disciplined players.
Mm-hmm.
Bruno's not disciplined. Rashford's not disciplined.
Yeah. We shall see.
Yeah, la, which
Yeah. A lot of
which
changes
will
to come.
happen. La. So in the end, Man United draw 2-2 with Liverpool. This is a bad thing for Liverpool because essentially if Liverpool had won, you guys would have been at least 3 points ahead. If I'm
I
not
think
mistaken.
2
No,
points
4.
ahead. 2 points ahead.
Would it be 4? Because you currently had 1-1. So you have been
2 points ahead.
2 points ahead. 2 points ahead. You have been 2 points ahead, Arsenal. But because of this, you all are tied. And you all have lost top spot because Arsenal have a superior goal defense.
Mm-hmm.
So before we get to Arsenal, let's talk about the other team that is in the title race. The team that is currently in third place, Crystal Palace and Manchester City collided at Selhurst Park with the third place team, Manchester City, winning of a final score of 4-2. Kevin De Bruyne scores a wonder goal.
That dude is disgusting.
After City conceded 3 minutes into a Mateta goal.
Yeah.
But that goal was absolutely...
Yeah.
Ooh,
He's too good, man.
it's not
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah, it's not fair. He's too good. He's too good and he's too clever. Yeah, I hated it, man. Watching the game, I was so angry at Crystal Palace. I was like, what are you doing? Because it was 1-1 into the half, right? Then
Yeah.
after the second half onwards, I was like, they completely bottled the game.
After that, it was just Rico Lewis score, Haaland scores.
Haaland scores, yeah.
After Haaland scores, then after
De
that
Bruyne
is
scores again, yeah.
Kevin De Bruyne scores again, and Kevin De Bruyne gets his 100th goal for Manchester City. Right. Overall, this was a routine win, lah. Even though Palace did get one at the end through Edward, right? I don't really think this was anything spectacular, to be honest, because
Yeah.
this is expected of Man City, ma.
Yeah, overall, right, the biggest difference in the game is just De Bruyne was like the best player. He was
Yeah.
really the best player on the pitch. So sometimes when you just need that star power to go and win you the game, that's the main difference between like a mid-table side and then a top side. Yeah.
It's true. Because there's really, like, I feel like there's not much else you can say other than the fact that City is expected to win.
Yeah, expected.
Stats-wise, right, pure domination, 76% possession,
Yeah,
18 shots.
also, yeah.
845 passes, and a 91% pass accuracy.
Yeah. Overall, like, Crystal Palace with 275 passes. It's like what? Like one
And 7 shots and 24% possession, right? I mean, Palace had their chances. You hit the bar. It could have been worse. But at the end of the day, right, City should beat Palace. I won't really say that it was much of a surprise that they won. I will say that it's more of a surprise if they actually drew or lost
Yeah.
to Palace. But at the end of the day, City keep ground. They are 70 points now. They are 1 point behind Arsenal and Liverpool, right, with a goal difference of 40. So among the three teams, right, they have the worst goal difference. But their goal difference is only -2 from Liverpool.
Yeah, correct. 2 different.
-2 from Liverpool. They are -11 from Arsenal, which I don't think they're going to catch.
Yeah, we're not gonna catch. Yeah.
They're not going to catch.
Yeah.
They're not going to catch. So currently, if you're talking about goal difference, they have the superior advantage, which brings us to the current league leaders, Arsenal. They beat Brighton away from home 3-0. Arsenal continued their goal scoring streak, 17 goals in the last 5 games.
Yeah. Crazy.
The only game they didn't score was the 0-0 draw against Man City.
Yeah. That's about it.
17 goals, eh? I don't know. Like what? How many goals already?
I think the underrated thing, right, is also like 17 goals, barely any goals conceded. That's the main
Barely.
concern. Yeah. The two centre backs, right, that they have, this Gabriel and Saliba, is really like the best pairing in. You can make an argument in the world now.
No, I agree. I 100% agree.
Yeah, they are too good, man. Like, especially considering the fact, right, that they are both physical, both young, both very fast. So it's like it completely fits into the style of play that this Arteta wants to do, where it's like high line and stuff like that. But when they want to go into a low block, right, it's like, wow, they just know how to sit back and then defend. So
No, plus also they're fast. Both of them.
fast, yeah,
They're
fast.
strong. They're fast, they're strong, and then they can contain like Haaland couldn't get anything against them.
Yeah, couldn't get anything. And I think also we have to shout out like this Ben White, he's also really damn good. Like the fact that he can like just slot in very nicely as a third right-sided centre back when they like move and adjust their team. Wow. Yeah, they're just scary defensively. Like, I think attacking wise, right, the goals that they score it comes a lot with the fact that they have so much possession, but it's very secure for the midfield, for the attack to be like, okay, like we can go up and then play with freedom. Yeah. Knowing the fact that our back line is gonna like not concede goals. So yeah,
which is the trademark of a lot of title winning teams. I remember like even with when Liverpool won the title when you had Van Dijk and was it Matip or was it Gomez? At times,
it was Matip, mostly Matip. Yeah.
That one you got composure, best defense in the league.
Yeah.
I remember when it was Chelsea under Mourinho, right? John Terry and Carvalho. There's no way you're getting
We've checked.
Yeah, we've checked. There's no way you're getting past. But then last time Man United was Vidic, Ferdinand, and Van der Sar. It's like the hallmark of championship winning teams is basically that the fact that their defenders are good, man.
Yeah,
it's just as simple as that. There's no left bits or left anything about it, right? So the fact that Arsenal actually have a very good defense, right? It actually is scary because it tells me that okay, it means that my defenders can just commit. Then plus the fact that your shield is Declan Rice.
Yeah, a very very elite CDM. Yes, yeah. No problem. Like slotting in is like the third midfielder. Want to carry the ball forward, also no issues. Yeah.
He can push the ball forward. He can long pass. He can short pass. He can envision everything. So it's like as a totality, I would say that Arsenal's team is more complete.
Yeah.
But I think City's team has more depth.
Ooh. Yeah.
I would say so. Because I find that if Arsenal they lose one of the vital guys, like it's going to be a problem.
Yeah, the main worry is the centre backs lah. Like, cause last year also they were in this same position, then they lost Saliba, then after they lost the league lah. So, and they have a rough like next few games, so it's going to be challenging for them lah. But I think right, if they can keep everyone safe lah, like no one gets injured, right, they are the favourites. I feel now.
Yeah, I agree because I mean in this game it was routine. Basically Saka scores a penalty, Havertz gets one tap in from a Jorginho goal that Arsenal pretty much dominated possession, right? Then Trossard scores a winner on a counter lah.
Yeah,
it's straightforward, right? But the only thing I question mark is the Lamptey one. Was it a penalty? Last penalty?
I don't really feel it was a penalty, but this type of thing, I'm not gonna like make a big deal. In the end, also Arsenal still won 3-0. So
yeah,
the outcome is
it didn't really make much difference in the end of the outcome already lah. But I will say this lah, like because Arsenal have been scoring so many goals. At the end of the day, right? Even though defense does win you, right? If you're winning games, right, and you score more goals, you definitely have a heavier chance.
Yeah, correct. I agree.
Which is basically the reason why when United lost the title on goal difference, right, they got Van Persie because they needed more goals. So, I mean, having a 11 goal advantage over your opponents, right, 9 to 11 goal advantage is a big advantage. Because catching up with 9 goals, 11 goals means that you have to concede 11.
Yeah, and
in a negative,
smashing like 5 or 6. Yeah,
correct.
Yeah,
correct. So in the end, Arsenal go top because Liverpool drew, and then of course City victory. So what that means is that currently Arsenal sit top of the table at 71 points with a goal difference of 51. Liverpool currently sits second with 71 points and a goal difference of 42. And just behind them is of course Manchester City with 70 points and a goal difference of 40. Now, speaking of Arsenal, we are going to this week's match of the week, which is of course Arsenal versus Aston Villa. Mm-hmm. Aston Villa, going into this game, have only won one game in the last 5.
Yeah, they're in a bit of a rut now.
It's quite bad.
Yeah.
It's horrible. But the news is they are still in contention for the last Champions League spot because even if Spurs win the 32nd game of the season, right, they're only still 3 points behind. And the team behind them is 11 points behind them, which is Man United. So Man United is not going to make up 11 points in the next 7 games.
Yeah. Plus, the way the new Champions League structure works, right? Most likely EPL will have 5 teams, lah. Correct. Going into
Yeah, which will essentially mean that it's going to be Aston Villa, lah. Which what me and Paul talk about is that if let's say even if Spurs get into the Champions League, if EPL falls in the top 2, they will get the 5th spot. Aston Villa goes in the Champions League either way.
Yeah, correct.
So for that, it doesn't really matter whether or not they are there, but just that the thing is that at the end of the day, right, it's peace of mind if you get a guaranteed spot, no matter what.
Yeah.
Because you still want getting 4th is guaranteed Champions League versus 5th is just depending on circumstance whether you get inside lah. Villa drew 3-3 with Brentford, but
Fun game. Very fun game.
chaos as usual. I think with Thomas Frank right, and Brentford, right, the game will never not be fun.
Yeah, the game was awesome. I was like, what on earth is happening here? The amount of the Brentford comeback, I was like, oh, it's like awesome game.
But the thing is that with Brentford, right, anything can happen. I mean, I look at it this way. Brentford had 31 shots against Man United. So they're not bad at creating chances. But I mean, at the end of the day, right, like, even though Villa are only 1 in 5, right, they can still spoil the party, don't you think? For Arsenal.
Yeah, I think like they definitely have talent. I think that they are in a bit of a rut. But
yep.
Yeah, the thing with Villa, especially when they play Arsenal, is the fact that Emery is the manager and Emery doesn't really like the way that he was treated at Arsenal. So
yep.
Yeah, maybe that might be a little bit of an X factor for them going forward in the game. But I think if you're even if you just view it objectively, it's not something that Arsenal will be concerned with, I feel. Considering also the form and stuff like that. So yeah, you pick them to win. I'm sure you will pick Arsenal to win also, right?
I will pick Arsenal to win. Because to be honest, right, Villa's poor form and Arsenal's goal scoring ability, right, as much as Villa have a good team and overall, right, they're just not performing well. Out of form team is very hard to get back into form.
Yeah, especially when you're against a tough defense like that, lah. Yeah.
Correct. And especially late in the season, lah.
Yeah.
Even though I do think that overall, Aston Villa losing Ollie Watkins was a very big hit.
Yeah, it's a very, very big hit. Yeah.
It's too big a hit because that's your main goal scorer, right? And then he goes out like that. As good as Diaby and Bailey are, right, they're not pure goal scorers.
Mm-hmm.
They're not finishers. So what happens is that you end up in a situation where is losing a striker, especially with Aston Villa's like current situation, right? It's not good. It's not a good thing to have, lah.
Yeah.
To me, lah. So,
and also like they have to play this. They don't really have a backup striker, so it's like they have to play like Zaniolo as striker, or like sometimes they move Diaby to the middle, which is like not ideal, lah. So because you can tell, right, the attack everything run through this Watkins, so they will have to go and readjust, I guess.
Yep. So I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is, right? So I do still think that Arsenal will still win, right? So let's get into our match predictions now. Because Paul is not here, right? Usually we always do this like match of the week thing, right? But since Paul is not here, we will skip that because I find that it's a bit unfair sometimes if you do everything by proxy, because you do things. So Paul is leading by quite a bit, right? The score is 7-11. We have a bet on the side. So just although this week we're not doing that partial, right? I'm just going to tell everybody what's on stake, what's on the line. So between me and Paul, whoever loses has to give the person either a $70 gift value at a minimum of $70, or you have to buy him a meal worth $70. So $70 at stake because our favorite number is 7. So that's why it's going to go, right? So, what is your prediction between Arsenal and Aston Villa?
I think it'll be a 3-1 game. Yeah. Not very confident in Villa being able to defend Arsenal's attack. Yeah, I'm also not that confident Aston Villa can score without Watkins, but yeah, I just think that maybe they'll just nudge one in. But that's about it. I'm still giving the X factor to Arsenal. Their form that they are in, the momentum, the fact that it's at Emirates, I think it's just very easy to give it to Arsenal.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you, but I do think that probably Arsenal will score a bit more. So I'm actually going to go maybe Arsenal 4, then maybe Villa 1.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for 1. Because I do think that without Watkins, right, it's going to be hard for Villa to actually be a threat. But then again, Villa, they did beat Arsenal before, right? Earlier in the they beat Villa earlier in the season, right? No, Villa beat Arsenal earlier in the season, right?
Yeah, I think it was last year. The good evening when Emery came back.
Yeah. So I mean, they are doing that, right? So they have the ability to beat them. So we shall see. Right? I think both of us are concluding that basically Arsenal's gonna win for this week lah. I don't really think there's much of a dispute lah. So yeah. Anything you want to add before we conclude?
No. I just think that the title picture is going to be a fun one, like the last 7 or 8 games. It's very rare that we have this sort of like race towards the end. So yeah. even if as a neutral, right, I think everyone will have fun watching the last few games.
It's going to be interesting also because I do think that at the end of the day, right, City's running is the easiest.
Yeah, City's running is the easiest, and Arsenal's running is the hardest.
So we will see. We have got a lot of games to talk about down the thing. I think predominantly we're going to focus a lot more on the title race because this is the first time it's a 3-horse race. Usually it's always a 2-horse or whichever. This is the first time it's a 3-horse race where 3 different teams could actually win the EPL title lah. So it's a lot at stake because 4th in a row for City. Liverpool are in contention for 3 trophies.
Klopp's
farewell. And then, of course, Arsenal's first title in almost 21 years.
Yeah.
No, 22 years.
22 years, yeah.
22 years. So we shall see. So with that is this week's episode of the Football Kaki. All right, so that is it for this week's episode of the Football Kaki, brought to you by the Chit Podcast Network. Now, for those of you who are tuning in, we just want to say thank you, and we hope that you continue to support our channel and, of course, our other shows, which, of course, include the Copy Bros every Monday involving Paul Media, Brandon, Tin Young. Yes, Paul Media, Brandon, and Tin Young, where they talk about different topics. I think this week was what? 18 plus scandalous?
Yeah, the
incidents?
Singapore news, just reacting to Singapore news lah. A lot of nonsensical news in Singapore.
Yeah, which is a rare thing.
Yeah. So entertaining times for us.
Yes, and then of course, if you do like game shows, we do have the SG Draft podcast every Friday where the Football Kaki and the Copy Bros come together to draft about different topics and have fun while we do it. Now, last week, or I would say more like last week's draft was of course the wrestling draft. Because WrestleMania just happened on Sunday. Wow, a lot happened. I just watched the match. For those of you who are watching WrestleMania and have not watched WrestleMania, please go and watch WrestleMania main events on both Saturday and Sunday. It's quite chaotic and it was really entertaining. And it reminds me why most of us love wrestling. With that, we conclude this week's episode of the Football Kaki. For those of you who have subscribed to our channel, we just want to say thank you. And for those of you who have not, please click the subscribe button below. And tell your friends, once you have subscribed to the Chit Podcast Network, and that we have a lot of entertaining shows. So with everybody from the Chit Podcast Network and from me and Midat, we just want to say thank you. Have a great week ahead. Have fun watching football, and bye-bye.
Bye-bye.